بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome again to what is not really the next video, but actually the inauguration of a new video series that I am hosting. However, this does lead on from the previous lectures that I have titled The Keys to Arabic, and I call this here the Walking Qur'an. Bismillah. That holy companion came unto our mother Aisha, and he said, Ya al-Mu'mineen, O our mother, أنبئيني عن خلق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. That tell me about the character of the Prophet of God. And I believe that this is when he had passed away from this world. So they wanted to not only reminisce the deep memory of this love, but also to continue to further study it, to deepen into this reality. Because the greatest source of meaning, the greatest source of reality, is the human being. There is nothing more real than being human. That is why when we go to the cinema, we watch movies not about the birth and death of stars. It's not physical stars, but the birth and death of human beings. Those stories that we are most engrossed by are human stories. For the human being is the greatest repository of meaning and feeling and emotion. That thing which is greatest to study is the human being itself. And so the companions would study the Prophet, and all prophets and great spiritual figures should be studied. Their very being should be studied, not just their lives and their stories, but their actual essence itself should be communed with. She said, قالت ألست تقرأ القرآن? Dost thou not read the Qur'an? قلت بلى, of course. قالت فإن خلق نبي الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان القرآن. For verily the character of the Prophet was the Qur'an itself. For this reason, one name of the Prophet was Al-Qur'anu Yamshi. That the Prophet was the Qur'an walking. The Qur'an which had taken physical form, taken fleshly form, the Word become flesh, and which walked in the markets, which ate and drank and breathed. That realization of the Qur'an in human form, that is the Prophet. In a very deep sense, it is not just like the Prophet, it is the reality of the Prophet. His very essence was the Qur'an. And why do we say this? Well, the essence of the Prophet is the essence of humanity itself. Because the idea of a Prophet is not to be a special human being. That is, special unlike other human beings. As the Qur'an frequently reminds us, prophets are human beings like us. What a prophet does, every human being is called to do. That is, attain the knowledge of God, become one with the fundamental nature of reality, to do God's work, commune with the divine itself, and live a divine, godly life. To live a godly life, taqwa, to be godly, is to understand, to know God, and therefore to live according to the way of God. And I actually explained this quite well in my last video titled The Ontology of Games. Quite a remarkable video in which I explained all this using the great analogies of Minecraft, if you can believe it. So I do recommend you to watch that. In particular, I spoke about the hierarchy of consciousness towards the end. I spoke about how we can level up consciousness. Just like in an RPG, we level up our characters and we develop our skill sets. So in life is all about growth. We should be leveling up. Leveling up, that is the darajat, the levels, the maqamat. Of what? Of the self, the soul, consciousness. Mi'raj, as-salatu mi'raj al-mu'min. We all have an ascension unto God, this mi'raj. But this ascension is ultimately within the self. It's ma'nawi. Before it can be hissi, it must be ma'nawi. Now, this is the essence right here, for the next 5 minutes. We have understood how the Arabic language is reality itself. That was, if I had to summarize the last lectures in one khulasa, in one mukhtasar, it is this. It is how the Arabic language is reality. How it is not just a perfect representation and mirror of reality. More profoundly, it is the reality of things themselves. Everything that we see around us is kalimat. It is waridat, tawarud. All of reality consists of divine communication, waves of energy, oscillations, reverberations. It is a communication, a communion rather, with the oneness of being, with God. How God spake into being each and every thing. Therefore that thing was an idea in the mind of God before all things else. The entire cosmos is a projection of this divine mind. God creates, that means He projects, creates in His image, He projects in the image of divine infinite consciousness. To learn the Arabic language, rather to behold, commune with the Arabic language, is to commune with God, to commune with ma'ani, the reality of things as they are. It is to commune with the fundamental nature of reality. To learn Arabic is to learn reality. To learn Arabic is to drink the very meanings of things from their vessels, from their structures. Right? It is sharbul ma'ani min al-awani. To drink ma'ani from awani, from the mabani of things. And this learning, this imbibing, this process of becoming God drunken upon the meanings of things as they are, is an emanation, a projection, a realization which occurs at every level of our being, from the inmost spiritual level, to the mental and imaginal level, to the physical level where ultimately we embody these meanings. In the most acute, visceral, physical manner, we embody each and every meaning. The flow of every letter is ultimately embodied in every nerve and action, in every heartbeat and breath. And so we produce, we make and create in our image. Because all that we do in this world is a projection of our body. I'd recommend you to look up the idea of the extended mind. There is a thesis called the extended mind. Also, I believe the idea of the extended body, perhaps looking into fields such as ecological psychology, and how the world is really an extension of the body. It is only in our materialistic paradigm again that we understand the body and the world to be two separate things, self inside, world outside. From the reality of Tawheed, there is no duality. Tawheed is the perfect marriage of every duality into unity. But so this was the essence. How Arabic is reality, how to learn Arabic is to learn reality, how that is an embodied learning which must occur at every level of our being, so to correspond with every level of being, and how we learn not only discrete particular things, but we learn wholes, because reality is whole, it is holistic. Nothing exists on its own. Everything exists in relationship and communion and communication and society with everything else. And so we learn these ontological diagrams of meanings. We learn not particular things, but we learn entire constellations of meanings themselves. Now, if we have understood these fundamental principles, this leads on to what I shall say next, where now this program of learning Arabic is going to expand Rather, it is going to deepen and become realized. Learning this Arabic language is to learn the self. مَنْ عَرَفَ نَفْسَهُ فَقَدْ عَرَفَ رَبَّهُ. He who knoweth himself hath known his Lord. That what we are learning by studying cosmic Arabic, not just the language, لغة العرب, but understanding the اللغة العربية, العربية, عين الرب, as it is said. What this is a program of complete self-realization, self-development, self-help, whatever you want to call it. This project that I am embarking upon, rather this work which I am undertaking, this is a work of the soul. This is a work of every single dimension of the being. Every single aspect and dimension of consciousness is taken in this work. This is spirituality. This is psychology. This is physiology. The development of the soul, the mind, the body, the memory, the intellect, of society, of house, of finance, everything that you can imagine. Every aspect of self-help, of self-whatever, of spirituality. All of these form one single science, form one single manifold unity of knowledge, which is the knowledge of Arabic, which is the very knowledge of God, and knowledge of self and cosmos. I would also highly recommend you to watch my video entitled, I Believe God, Self and Cosmos, A Guide to Everything, which I explain this entire diagram and vision in more detail. But this is where we are. That Arabic is the microcosmos of reality. Right, we have these spheres over here of being. The inward sphere of being, or the inmost sphere of being, is the sphere of Ma'ani, the spiritual world. That projects into the sphere of imagination, of images and mental thoughts and ideas. And that finally projects and crystallizes in the great sphere of the cosmos, the physical world, which is the utmost condensation of being, the utmost crystallization and congealment of consciousness into matter. When we study Arabic, the aim is to commune with the utmost infinite singularity, the singularity of being, the oneness of being which is God. When we commune with this infinite center, we pour out into the perfect knowledge of everything. ما فقد من وجدك وما وجد من فقدك, as the great Imam Ibn Atta'illah says, what hath he lost who hath found God, and what hath he found, he who hath lost God? So we are learning the inmost circle of being itself. We are communing with the infinite origin and source of everything. That is what we are doing when we study Arabic. We are learning the ultimate nature of reality. Oops. And that also enfolds the body and the self. So please do watch my last video in which I explained the levels of the word. In fact, I've done this multiple times, but do watch the last video in particular. I believe I titled it, The Body Speaks Arabic. That the kalima, the word, can be taken to correspond to three things. The word of God, kalimatullah, they are al-ma'ani, not word as any particular things, but the meaning of the thing itself, the very essence which is one with God. Then we have kalimat as-suwar. These are imaginations, the kalima as an idea, as a mafhum, as a mutasawwar, a surah. That is the conceptualization of the meaning inside of the imagination. Finally, what happens with thought? We think something, what happens? Each and every thought manifests itself in the body, in action, in matter. That is the idea of manifestation that we hear about in neo-spiritual circles, in neo-spirituality, or New Age spirituality. It's all about manifestation, how to manifest money, how to manifest these things. And it is not wrong, it is founded upon this deep spiritual wisdom that every physical thing is the manifestation of a spiritual reality. And therefore whatever you think shall occur. That thought shall manifest itself. How, we do not know. Or at least we cannot fully comprehend. But it does happen. Every single thought is going to flow from your mind upon your body, right unto the banan, the fingertips. Again, I explained this last time, but that was the structure of the body, that from the janan, min suwayda'il fu'ad, from the holy darkness, the holy dark mystery of the soul, that dark night, that impenetrable mystery of inmost consciousness in the sanctum of the spirit. That thought flows upon the lisan, not just the physical tongue, but every lisan that we have, which are many, they are manifold. Lisan is any instrument of communication. So every nerve, every asab is a lisan. In fact, every muscle, adl, is a lisan. Every alaq or alaqa, every form of relationship is a lisan. So the whole body is a tongue. The entire body is many tongues, many fibers and nerves communicating and oscillating with the energy of thought. And that oscillation redounds in the entire lattice of the body until it culminates upon the fingertips. Proverbially, what we mean is the extremity of the body. Right, al-banan is where this oscillation terminates, and so projects from the extreme periphery of the body into the world. What do the banan do? Tabni, binaya, binya. They build, create, make. For all creation and all physical activity is the projection of mind into matter. Every action that you see before you is the realization of some thought wave. Even the atom, the spin of the atom, the electromagnetic field generated by the electrons, all these things. Whatever motion there is, whatever field of energy that there is, it is all the communication of a thought into the plastic substance of matter. That is what this cosmos is. And so there is this very mystical verse from the Bible, that there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. They were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance. But this reality is the reality right here and right now. It is not just the reality of prophecy. It is the reality of selfhood. That the Spirit, our Ruh, which is the Ruh of God, is speaking unto us in this very moment, for those are our thoughts. Whatever thought we think, whatever holy thought that we think, is a thought of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God speaking within us. Every action upon the finger which is holy and righteous was inspired by the Spirit. This is the deep meaning of revelation, of spirituality. The entire cosmos is a body, the entire cosmos is a tongue, the entire cosmos is a medium and matrix of communication and waves of energy, flowing and oscillating, rebounding and redounding. So that is the different levels of Arabic in the body. Finally, we speak of the worlds of meaning. We understand this, hopefully? That there are different levels of the Qur'an, right? Going back to the idea that the Prophet was al-Qur'anu yamshi, the walking Qur'an. Ultimately, the Qur'an is Qur'anullah, the meanings of God, the mind of God. The entire cosmos is also a Qur'an, the macrocosmic Qur'an. that is al-Kawn, al-Qur'an al-Kawni, the cosmic Qur'an, because that is the outer sphere, the glass sphere of meanings projected out from this inward Qur'an. And there we are, we inhabit this world, we are also a Qur'an, or can be at least. For the realized human being himself is a Qur'an. And now up in the levels of the self, these meanings which we commune and learn in Arabic. Right, when you learn Arabic, in a class with me, this is what we are studying. We are communing with al-ma'ani, the ma'ani of God. That should ultimately rest in the soul. They are akhlaq. These ma'ani, when they are consumed by the soul, when the soul itself is drunk from the spirit, they are akhlaq, sifat, they are characteristics. These ma'ani, when they are in the that of the self, in our essence, they are our attributes and our character qualities. Thus, our mother said that the khuluq, the character of the Prophet was the Qur'an. His sifat were the sifat of the Qur'an, and the sifat of the Qur'an are the sifat of God. The character of the Prophet was the character of God. He was godly, muttaqi, ana atqakum. He had perfectly realized the meaning and reality of God inside of himself. So everything that he did, everything that he thought, his very being that he was utterly godly. These akhlaq, right? إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These makarim al-akhlaq, the holy qualities of good character, of righteous character, that is come from the perfect knowledge of God, which is the knowledge of oneness. These akhlaq then manifest as ahwal, from the soul unto the mind. Another word for mind is imagination. These akhlaq tuthmiru uturithu ahwalan. They engender states, ahwal, spiritual states, emotions, feelings. Every moment we are in a state. That state carries us to do, to act. Whatever we do is the child of a state. It is born from a state. If I go to the gym, it is only because I had a state impelling me to go to the gym. I made a video years ago saying that if you take someone like, The Rock, a bodybuilder, who has a crazy workout, at least from the videos it seems that he's working out at 3 a.m. every morning, 4 a.m., for hours at a time, with an incredibly diligent and meticulous and punctilious diet and schedule. It is easy for him to do that. It is easy for him to stay onto that diet. For were it not easy, he would not be doing it. The question is, how is it easy? How is it so hard for myself to wake up at whatever time and go to the gym? It's so hard. How can he do that? It's because it is not hard for him in the same way that it is hard for me. This hardness stops me. Even though it may physically be hard, does not stop the rock. Rather, it helps him. It's easy for him. It is facilitated. That is because he has a hal which is carrying him to perform these actions and these a'mal. That hal is his love for exercise, his love for whatever it is, the body, development, self-discipline. That hal, I don't just say emotion, it is much more than emotion, but that hal, that state of being, that is what causes a'mal. It creates a'mal, it creates work and action. So do not work hard. The purpose is not to work hard. Hard work is the effect, the fruit of something. What is that thing? It is these ahwal. So the question is, how do I attain these ahwal? Where do they come from? How can I attain the hal which allows me to go to the gym every day, or to wake up in the depths of the night and implore the Absolute, and to go out into the wilderness of God and become one with His mysteries. What is that hal? These ahwal are in turn engendered by akhlaq. It all returns to ma'ani. If that ma'na is inside of you, that ma'na, that khuluq, will create the hal, which will create the amal. That is the sequence. That is why when we are learning Arabic, what we ultimately want to learn are these ma'ani inside of the self as akhlaq. If that is there, that is everything. That is everything. Everything is come from these ma'ani in the soul. That is all that we need. And ultimately what people say they want is a'mal. People who want money, who want a good house, who want whatever it is of this dunya, of this world, ultimately they are looking for things which are actions. It is those af'al that they are looking for. Those af'al are going to come from certain akhlaq which you need to have. Those who want to pray to God in the middle of the night, who want to attain unto this image of perfect spirituality, again it is af'al that they are looking for. Likewise, these af'al will come from certain akhlaq which you must have. So this path, what I'm saying here is that we shall learn, by the will of God, we shall learn these meanings and realities. We shall have this good character and this good life, a godly life, but through this study and learning. We shall build the world by building in ourselves the perfect image of the world in Arabic. We first build the self, and the self then shall build the world. And now, to finish this off, perhaps practically, what does this actually look like? Well, again, I would implore you to watch the last video, The Body Speaks Arabic. For there I explained, I gave an understanding of the self using nothing but knowledge of Arabic. How ultimately we are motion, cyclic motion, taqallub, in the qalb, a motion which originates in the soul but amplifies and projects into the entire body, a motion which is thus upon every nerve and in every fingertip, upon the qalb. And we are the soul, the nafs, which has this motion of tanaffus, but ultimately we are the spirit, the ruh, which has tarawuh, not just a cyclic motion, but actually a pure oscillation of energy. Tarawuh, a pure oscillation, a resonance of being itself. We can also speak about the continuum of consciousness of ilm and amal, of energy and action, as we might translate this. We can speak about how every action is come from ilm, how just learning can completely suffice us for everything. We can speak about every part of the body and study the deepest form of yoga and physiology, just by studying the Arabic language and embodying it in ourselves, embodying the meaning of every nerve and muscle and body part and posture. We can learn how to sleep, how to wake up, how to eat, how to dress ourselves, how to work, how to go to work, every single action that you can imagine, that you can conceptualize or envisage. We can study in the Arabic language, the meanings thereof we can commune with. And thus realize what we are looking for here, which is the singularity of the self and consummate realization. All of this, these diagrams of meaning, shall come through the study of Arabic. But as I have said, as I am teaching Arabic, now I shall begin to teach the science of spirituality using Arabic. So this is another journey which I invite you all upon. And I am very interested to hear all of your thoughts, so please do engage. Any questions that you have, do let me know. And inshallah, I want to let you guys know that I will be starting up some classes and some courses. I already have a few I've started, with some of you actually. But I'll be expanding the scope of this, so bear with me as I give you the news of that and the specific dates and times. But if you are interested, do let me know in the comments. do reach out to me. You can reach out to me by my email directly. It's always on my website. If you have anything you would like to see, or if you'd like to simply have a call with me, do reach out and I can facilitate that, inshallah. And I'd also like to thank everyone who has been on the journey of this channel so far, and who inshallah shall be here to witness whatever God allows to unfold next. So I bid you all by the peace and grace of God. I ask God that He illumines us and enlightens us with the light of His knowledge, allows us to witness the ecstasy of the beauty of His countenance. ربنا زدنا علما وعلمنا من لدنك علما. وبارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. And until next time, I shall see you.